Hi, I'm Adam Kunzmiller here with Board Game Geek TV, and we're at Gen Con 2013. I'm joined by Alan Girding and Sean McCoy. They're with Tuesday Night Games, and we're here to talk about 2 rooms and a boom.
That's right.
Yeah. 2 rooms and a boom. It's a party game that's always a blast.
Excellent.
Social deduction, hidden roles like Werewolf, Resistance Mafia, any of those types of games. But we wanted to make it faster, easier to host, and more involved for all the players.
Now, when you say 2 rooms, do you actually need 2 physical rooms for this?
Well, 2 different play areas.
2 areas.
So you don't need a door or anything like that. So we've been playing it at Conway. Seemed to be a big hit at Origins. A lot of people came back, said they enjoyed it. Been playing it here at Gen Con. Yeah, so just 2 different play areas. So you can even play in the convention hall. You can play in 2 different rooms if you want to. I know when I played at home, we have one group play downstairs while the other group plays upstairs. So you have that stairwell that separates the 2 groups.
All right, so what's the game consist of? How's it work?
All right, so I'll give you a quick little spiel. You have, let's suppose it's a game that's 6 to 30 players. Let's suppose you have
6 to 30, you said?
Yeah, 6 to 30
Excellent.
players. Yeah, so let's suppose you have, we'll say 10 players, right? So you have the 10 players, 5 go into one play area, 1 room, 5 go into the other play area, 1 room, and then you randomly distribute the cards out. Now, half of the players are going to be on red team, and half of the players are going to go ahead and be on blue team, right? But on the blue team, there is the president. So one of the blue team members is going to be the president. And on the red side, one of the red players is going to be the bomber, right? So now, what happens is there's a time limit, no host necessary, and throughout the time, people are going to be exchanging rooms, so trading rooms, going from one room to the other. That shuffles up the players. At the end of the game, everyone reveals what role they are. If the bomber and president are in the same room, boom, the president exploded, as I like to say, and the red team wins. But if they're in separate rooms, then president survives, blue team wins. But then we have so many different character cards to add in spies that do different things. That's the basic premise of the game. Of course, there's intricate details in there that make the game more fun, more organized, etc. But that's the basic pitch.
Yeah.
So over the course of the game, how often are people going to be changing from one of the spots to the other?
Every turn. So the way it works is that you'll either play like a 3-minute, 2-minute, 1-minute game, so about 6 minutes, or you'll play a 15-minute game where it's 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. So at the end of every round, each of these timed rounds, it helps keep the game moving fast. Players switch from one room to the other.
And you're going to have a mix of blue and red team in each. How do you decide which players are switching?
There's going to be a leader.
There's a leader. So the way it works is similar to Mafia and Werewolf, where you nominate someone by choosing who's going to be hanged that night. Instead, you're actually choosing someone to become the leader. And the leader gets to choose which hostages, as we call them, that they're going to exchange with the other room. So there's a hostage exchange, we say. And it gets, there's fewer and fewer hostages per round. So in the 5 round, if you have a game of 25 players, there's gonna be 5 hostages at the end of that 5-minute round. But by the time you get to the 1-minute round, it's only just 1 hostage. So at the end, that's how the hostages switch, that's how the players switch, and that's how you shuffle up the rooms.
All right, and what would the typical play time again?
Well, it depends. We would say 15 minutes erring the side of caution, but once you get an experienced group, and they want to do it really quickly, you can do a 3-round game in 6 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the next time you and 30 or 29 of your friends are sitting around and have 6 minutes to kill, you guys have the perfect product for it.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can obviously play more rounds, making a 15-minute game, but that time is part of the essence of it, because it gives you that feeling like, oh my goodness, someone in this party is strapped with the bomb, so we got to make sure that we have this time frame that gets tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter.
And it's great because since there's no like going to sleep or waking up or anything like that, it runs totally without a moderator, which means that nobody's having to sit out, nobody dies in the middle of the game or gets eliminated. So everybody's playing all the way until the end.
And you mentioned the time limits of the rounds. So does that mean even if people start getting into these protracted arguments about what we should do, the time limit cuts them off and things have to happen?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
That is awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we haven't even said what one of the coolest things is about the game that isn't in any of the other social deduction games. You can do whatever you want with the card. So let's suppose I'm on blue team and I say, hey, I'm on blue team, and you say, I don't believe you. I can actually take this card out of my pocket and say, no, really, I'm on blue team. Or we can do something called a color reveal where I'll say, hey, I'll show you my color if you show me yours. And what I do is I go ahead and I just show the color right there. Yeah, absolutely. So that's called the color reveal. Once we do that, then we're like, all right, I trust you. But the interesting thing is we have spy characters which
Where
it
this
has-
is a different stripe?
Yeah, exactly. So it's the
Awesome.
blue
I
team
love it.
color, but it's actually.
Do you
a
have one of
rubber
these we can
protein.
fish out?
We don't have
Oh,
them on
don't
This
yet.
is
have
our
those in
newest
yet?
prototype.
Yeah, this is our newest
Excellent.
prototype. We're getting ready. So this shows the newest art. So we're working on the newest art, but with our old prototype art, which you can still get at tworoomsandaboom.com or check us out on Facebook, you can download all of our cards. We have over 120 characters.
Wow.
Yeah, so we got a lot of characters.
So I understand this is going to be on Kickstarter soon. Can you tell us about those details?
Sure, absolutely.
So basically what we've been spending Gen Con doing is tightening up the last manufacturing numbers, making sure we've got fulfillment. One of the biggest, most important things to us about the Kickstarter process is to make sure that not only do players and backers trust in the vision of the game, but also in us and our ability to bring that game to market. And so we've really been just hammering out the fine details, making sure that all the numbers are checked, that we'll be able to fulfill all the backers with the right pledge levels, ship it to them, get it to them out on time, have all the art ready, everything like that.
So by the time you start the Kickstarter and accept the first donation, you already have all the art assets, you already have the manufacturing
Exactly.
details worked out.
we're ready to
great.
say like, okay, once we fund, we're sending files directly over to the manufacturers and they're getting started with pre-press.
And when is that Kickstarter again?
September. Right now we've been doing a whole bunch of homework. We're actually filming a documentary about the whole process of
cool.
using Kickstarter, because the last thing we want is to go to Kickstarter without our T's crossed and our I's dotted.
Awesome. Were there any questions from the chat?
Yeah, ask away.
All right, cool. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. This was 2 Rooms and a Boom from Tuesday Night Games. Very cool.
Thanks a lot, I appreciate it.
Thank you
you.
so much.